Hello everybody, my name is Matt and you're watching Game Simulations. Today I'm going to be doing another installment of the FSPassengers, what do you call it, this is a series that I actually forgot to continue. I was thinking about, I was doing a, that's pretty cool, I didn't even know that. I was originally doing a series of this I was doing this series, and I actually forgot to do a second installment of it. I was just looking through the video views today, checking progress, and we're doing very good. Thank you everybody for who's been watching, by the way. And I came across this series that I just completely abandoned. I just completely forgot to do it, and I apologize for that. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So, if you guys have seen the last installment, which you can see if you have not, right in the top right, I'll give you an annotation. It is a flight where we're doing a company, all us together, me, you, and everybody else, where I will fly an FSPassengers flight, moving up as in a shortened career mode, where we don't have career mode enabled, but we're doing it in the same fashion. Whereas last video we flew the the Coronado Piper Seneca, and I'm going to be flying the Flight 1 Cessna Mustang, Citation Mustang, which is pretty much the next step up. It's a very light jet, and it's kind of the smaller one of the smaller private jets besides the Eclipse that are out there today. It's pretty much the highest quality business jet there is out there for FSX right now. It's very high quality, and we'll be getting more into that a little bit later into the video. Right now, basically just talking about, rather than doing a review, we're going to be doing an actual flight with this aircraft, just to give you some views. It's really tiny, as you can see. Still a business aircraft, still up in the millions there as far as a price tag. Very expensive aircraft, but very fun to fly, very nimble, and quite fast considering it's so tiny. It has two pretty nicely sized engines. Today we're going to be flying. Right now we're in Abu Dhabi, if you could not tell. We're going to be doing a 72-mile hop over to Dubai to pick up our sorry for that pause there. Pick up our very wealthy prince that we're going to take then from there onto Zurich. That's obviously all fictional. But our company wants to take some people over to Abu Dhabi to Dubai because we're going there anyway. So I want to take some people, and that's the flight we're going to be showing you guys today. So first things first, we're going to start off by enabling FSPassengers. So we're going to come in here, select our active company. You guys can't see this now, but going to open the company that me and Jason started the first video. Now that we are here, I'm going to come to the company manager, buy this current flight simulator plane, approximately $3 million. Now we're going to close the manager and start our new flight to OMDB. Actually, didn't do the parking brake. My mistake. Start flight, 100% capacity, approximately 32% fuel. You guys can't see this right now. But nothing was really happening. Just loading the aircraft, nice and equal with a neutral center of gravity. Trying to get that center of gravity nice and towards the center there. It's nice and balanced out there. Now we're going to set our destination. OMDB is our ICAO code.
Destination set.
OMDB. Set type is going to be a normal flight, and we'll do a real-time load just so it gives us enough time to prep the aircraft to go of approximately 5 minutes. Okay, the flight has been started. Now we're going to go outside, open our door just so you guys can see it from the outside and see what it's like. I believe it has steps on it. I mean, there you go. There's steps coming down. And now our plane is being boarded, so now the race has started. Sorry, my phone's ringing. The race has started to get our aircraft prepped to go. This is a loud aircraft, so if you guys hear quite a lot of noise, it is a loud aircraft. So keep that in mind, please. That it is not just that the aircraft is quite loud.
You're in
There turns on our... That's annoying. We'll go there, even though that's not really what we're going to be using. We're not going to be using the default ATC. That's not really... I'm not really somebody that usually uses that stuff here. What is this? Well, that was the parking brake, but I guess this is the parking brake. Yeah, that is the parking brake. That's what I thought. Okay, that's interesting. Anyway, for some reason... Standby test is good. Avionics wouldn't start. There, I know what to do. Let's start the engines. I haven't really had too much time for this aircraft, and so there goes the engines. There's really nothing against starting the engines while boarding, as long as the parking brake's on, which it is. It is now, at least. So there was the, like I said, this is a lot of aircraft, so I'm going to turn on the sound now. But there goes our engine, first engine there. N1 is coming up there. As that is happening, our first officer's doing that, so here we're going to come and do our flight plan. It's going to just be a normal flight plan that is going to be via one waypoint, which is named Miata. If I could, I have actually a lot of experience with the G1000, so I'm going to try and use that experience that I already have with it to try and aid the process. So it's going to be OM. Oh, there it is. Oh. No. Oh. There you go. I should have cut this out. This is going to take a while. No, wrong way. No, wrong way. Ah, shoot. Okay, as you guys can see, this is going to take a very long time to get this all inputted into the FMC. I wish I could just type it, actually. Let's see if I can type it. Can't type it. That's unfortunate. Let's just do direct to... Actually, no, let's do a flight plan. Via Miata. If I could just figure out how to do this. I just had it though, so I'm a little confused by it, but whatever. Now that we've choose what we wanted, we can press that, and that will bring it up, but it's not happening for us right now. So you bring up the menu, it's not a thing anymore. Both engines are started at this point. Going to come into our engine system if we can find it on this. I know it's right there. Stall warning is off. That's on now. Wing stable manual is going to be on, and people are still boarding, so that will stay on. As you can see, that is our indication. As you can see up here on the little map, I will zoom in a little bit. You can just get that to come up right. There we can see OMAA, OMAA, which is our thing, and a little bit to the north and the right, you can see OMDB, or DXB is what they have it set to here, which is the what is it called? IATA. There it is, DXB right there. We're on the coast. We're gonna be flying into there today. I have the FlyTampa scenery, so it'll be nice flight to watch. As far as altitude, we'll be flying at 18,000 feet. If we can find our altitude select. It's up here. We'll set our altitude up to 18,000 feet. I'm having difficulties with this. Let's find it. Autopilot. altitude select. It's going to be, pre-select will be 18,000 feet. Actually, we'll do 7. Those are just United States rules. I don't really know the rules of Dubai or Abu Dhabi with the United Arab Emirates, I should say. There goes the cabin door closing. We will just set 18,000 for now. Actually, you know, we'll cut that down to 15. It's only gonna be 72 miles, so we'll climb up to initial altitude of 15,000 and just stay there. And here's the MFD controller, which maybe will allow us to have much more ease with doing this flight plan. There we go. Oh, how sweet. OMAA with a slash. Then let's get an enter. No, that's not gonna work. OMAA space. Oopsies. Look at that. Never mind. This is, I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut this out. So I'll see when I get this part figured out. Again, I do apologize for my lack of knowledge with this aircraft. You know, I've really only just got it today, so like I said, I do really apologize for my lack of knowledge. As we go on with this, you'll see that I will really have a lot more knowledge with many other aircraft, and you won't have to worry about this. Like I said, I really apologize for it, but unfortunately, sometimes it has to be this way. There's a lot more aircraft, you know, that I do use. You do use a lot more, you know, there's a lot more aircraft that I know that are not of this nature. And I'm going to have to learn it, but obviously not within this one video. I will do a review on this. Every aircraft that's in here will get their own review. But like I said, I do not have a super good grasp on this aircraft quite yet. Like I said, I will really try, work my best to get that. But as for now, this will have to do. Like I said, at a certain point, I will be able to do a full startup by myself. And maybe if you guys want to revisit this aircraft, just let me know. And I will certainly think about that. And I'll probably end up doing it anyway. See if these dimming lights work. That would be kind of cool. No, not really. And that seems to be it. We'll get our anti-skid on, actually. And we don't have any horn notifications. And our fuel pumps look to be good. We do not need our oxygen mask. And we look to be good. So, parking brake is released, and we'll give ourselves a little bit of power to turn around. Departing runway today, because the winds are at 300, will be 31 left. It does feel like there's quite a lot keeping back this aircraft. Not as far as, you know, power. It doesn't feel like there's a lack of power. It just feels like there's a lot of friction on the ground with it. Really, a little bit of power will just take that right away. It's a really big glare shield, if you guys didn't notice, so it's really hard to actually see outside the cockpit while maneuvering this this aircraft. So that's something to take into consideration. So I'm really going to try and take this nice and slow with the taxi. See what gaining speed. It's kind of hard to pick a, you know, a relative thrust setting we want to keep it at, because, you know, 60% is too high, 50% is too low. I'm just going to try and keep it up there at an optimal level to keep us going in the taxi. And we'll drop down to, there's two flap setting if I'm not mistaken. Yep, one is approach, you see right there. One is takeoff, one is approach if I'm not mistaken. One is takeoff and approach, and then, you know, there's other for final and stuff like that. So we're going to try and get a little bit more speed going here, so we can get to the runway. I'm trying to hold up traffic here at OMAA. Some Etihad jets over there. Etihad is the main provider of air, not air, well, why did I say that? Of service out of this airport. That is their hub. I believe that's 31 left, if I'm not mistaken. This is it's either really hazy here today, or they just decided not to do Abu Dhabi, or at the time Abu Dhabi might not have been the same way it is now. I don't really know what the answer is to that question, but I do not know whether they modeled Abu Dhabi. As you can see, there's going to be a huge difference between this airport and Dubai, which we'll be flying into shortly. And really what we're going to do, instead of doing SIDS and stars, we're just going to be doing normal procedures for an aircraft, usually of this type, when flying out of smaller airports. We'll just be doing traffic patterns to get ourselves into Dubai, even though it's a lot less, obviously that would never happen in Dubai, in that specific airport, but I can't really seem to get it, in-depth flight plan working. Like I said, next time I'm going to be doing a lot more research on it, and I don't mean to do that out of a lack of caring for quality content, but I just don't really want to, delay a video so I can really research this aircraft, when it's more about showing the progression rather than showcasing the actual aircraft that are used. Although it is about both, I really want to show the progression of the add-on, and show how it really how it works, and what aircraft you might see on each progression level. This is the second that you would normally see, or at least that's what I would get. Coming up to the runway here. Not mistaken, I guess this scenery only has 3-1, not 3-1 left or right rather. Like I said, that might have been a development of the airport prior to the what was I trying to say? After the release of this game, or this the scenery, the update. So like I said, that might be a contributing factor to the lack of scenery, both in and outside of the airport. I will see if I can find any scenery around for this airport, but I'm not going to be spending money, and because this production costs quite a lot of money, and we don't really make anything, so it's kind of hard to keep up this nice payware stuff if we're really not getting too much in return. So basically, tell your friends about this. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, like I said, it's hard to keep up the nice quality scenery and quality aircraft when instead of giving you the same thing over and over again, we like to give you variety. So it's either the quality will drop or the views have to go up. So it's obviously no problem. We like doing what we're doing now, and we'll continue to do it. It's just that that trade-off. If you want to keep seeing these nice PMDGs, Flight 1, Caronado, all these nice add-on companies, and FlyTampa and stuff, there's going to need to be substantial growth in the channel before we can really start shoveling out a lot of money for it, because both together, FSPassengers I believe is around $20 to $30. This aircraft was actually $49, and the sceneries alone were about $25 to $30 each. So it's a lot of money just for production of these videos. But I'm going to shut up so you guys can enjoy the sound of this takeoff, and I'll come back to you as far as talking. I'll come back to you just when we get over 10,000 feet. And start our we'll start our turn out about 2,500, and then I'll come back to you at around 10,000 when we're en route. So now that we've established ourselves for an intercept for our initial flight plan, here we're going to climb up to about 15,000, maybe a little bit lower. Actually shoot for, now we'll shoot probably for about optimal, we'll go for, how about, we'll call it 11,000 even. Just because, you know, we don't really want to get too high up, and we really only have about a 70-mile journey to go. As you can see, it's a very, very quick aircraft, very speedy. You know, it's tiny. It's, you know, very light jet. You know, it's very, as you can see, the term is very reminiscent of the actual aircraft. I like the way it feels. It's very light.
Passing 10,000 feet.
And you can see, thank you, co-pilot. As you can see, we're 1,000 feet to our destination altitude. So I'm going to start pulling back the throttles now to ease up the climb rate. I really like the way that you can see your wings. I think it's actually really cool. And that's a nice effect when you're actually flying the aircraft. Now we're coming up to our assigned altitude. We'll start banking the nose over now. And we will hold the nose here and trim out the excess pressures to maintain a stable altitude. We don't really need to put autopilot on for too long. We don't really need to use it at all, to be quite honest with you. The journey is not long, and you know, if we turn off autopilot, it's just really gonna. If we turn on autopilot, it's just really gonna, you know, not help us, as we really won't be able to make too many quick, you know, quick adjustments to maybe our aircraft that we might need to, such as, you know, quickly changing the heading to intercept a path. You know, obviously we're just getting a warning. We're a little bit lower than our altitude that was pre-selected, so we'll get up there. You know, obviously there's no problem with this aircraft going faster, but excuse me. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We want to let the we want to keep the plane at a reasonable speed and not get ahead. Get behind the aircraft, which is a term in aviation that you may or may not know, which just means that we don't really want to get to a point where we're not prepared for. We want to keep the aircraft at a nice pace so we have enough time to prepare for our, basically, you know, our destination in time. As you can see, another altitude alert. Not really doing an amazing job at keeping the altitude here. As you can see in the beginning of the just setting the altimeter for the other airport. During the beginning of the takeoff, our passengers were a little bit scared. We hit some minor turbulence on rotate there, and as you can see, as soon as we took off, and the cabin shifted around. They were getting a little bit anxious there, which is all fine, normal. You know, they'll do that to you. If there's a little bit, you know, dense air, the app will, the program will notice that. I'm actually going to turn this off because it's annoying. Let's actually do Bettine. It doesn't look like there's anybody there. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that much bank. Sometimes it just, you know, sometimes it just does that. It's a very light aircraft. You might forget sometimes that, you know, you're flying a light aircraft rather than a jet because of its speed and its capabilities. Some stuff like climb rate and such. It might mistake you sometimes. Again, kind of losing their altitude there. Getting that alert again. It's just a function of hand flying. You know, it'll do that to you. It is rather annoying to try and maintain the altitude. You know, especially when there's some dense air and you know, visible moisture and stuff that might give you up and down drafts and stuff that might cause you to veer off track. As you can see, we're starting to pop up next to Dubai here. Dubai is starting to appear. We're still about, what is it giving us? A distance of 42 miles, which is pretty much halfway between our journey. Not too much more to go. most of the rest of the journey will be based on getting ourselves ready to get into the airport. The runway that we're going to be using for landing today is 1-2 left. 1-2 left is a smaller version. Well, actually, I think it's a smaller one. I'm quite positive. We're not going to be needing the longer runway today. We're in a Cessna Citation. It's not a very quick, I mean, it is a quick aircraft, but it's not too hard to slow down. Not a lot of momentum that will keep it going, considering it's a very light jet. So there's nothing to worry about there. You can see there's the Palm Island right there, where people actually live on that in real life. Quite a cool thing to see. I'm pretty sure people live on that. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe that's something else. But I watched a documentary on Dubai, and I thought people lived there. Might be wrong. Please comment if I'm wrong. I really know nothing at all about Dubai, except that it's really beautiful, and I want to go there someday. As for comments, I like the comments you guys have been posting. A lot of them are more constructively composed to help us out in our endeavors, rather than, you know, hurt our feelings. That's really, you know, really what we're looking for. We're looking for positive comments, and comments that are really based towards making the content better and more accurate, rather than making us feel bad for the content we've created. We'd much rather people say, oh hey, you know what, it's actually not, people don't actually live on there, rather than you're an idiot because you didn't know that. It's much more, we're much more likely to change our actions that way. We really appreciate you guys coming to us and presenting comments in that nice fashion. As for the channel, we've been doing very good. Our last time I checked, our video on our highest viewed video is the Airbus X extended review that I did a while back. First video, it's actually got almost 700 views, about 400 to 700, I think, at this point. Really want to just say thank you for that, guys. Something else that I thought was kind of interesting: if you search up Airbus X extended review, we're actually the third one that comes up. We're Frugal's at the top, then there's another one, and then we're the third one. Which I really want to, you know, it humbles. I'm very humbled by it. Me and Jason are really excited about it. It really shows how much we've, you know, sorry, another altitude alert there. How much, you know, we're not a huge part of this flight sim community as far as relevance, but it shows that we're there and we're making a difference in the community. And that video is gaining steam, and it's really pushing through those numbers a lot faster now. And it really just, we really just want to thank you guys for supporting us. Those people that have been here since the beginning, we really appreciate it, and we wouldn't be here without you. Now that we're only about 31 miles out now, we can start seeing buildings popping up, and we're going to actually give ourselves a drop in power here. It's almost idle, let ourselves start descending down. As you can see, the power is really, you know, it's really influential to this aircraft's performance. Now that we've dropped out all power, we're really losing our airspeed quite quickly. It shows that, you know, this aircraft, you know, drag to thrust ratio probably isn't too high. I mean, it's very high. Sorry, it probably has quite a bit of drag, and you know, once you take out that performance, that nice, powerful thrust you have set in there, it will most likely drop like a rock. You see, like I said, nice. This is because this is a very light jet. We can get really nice and slow in here, especially with flaps. It gives us the ability to get nice and slow. We're getting a little bit of turbulence here. With FSPassengers, you get a lot more turbulence than you normally get, just because it likes to visualize that with passengers. So you're gonna see a lot more moving in the cabin and stuff. And also, I'm trying to get lower so I can just showcase some of the scenery here that we've got in this airport and this surrounding area. So I just want to kind of give you guys an opportunity to see that scenery, all of it, because it really is just beautiful. I've done a few videos including the scenery so far, and I will do much more. And you know, all these flights are going to be pretty much based around the world. If you guys want to see some consecutive flights, such as me flying from this to Dubai, then flying from Dubai to another airport, from that airport to another airport, so you can see kind of like the life of a charter airline, as if, you know, we were actually flying these and the aircraft were stuck there. So let us know, because we really want to, we're here to please you. If you guys want to see a certain type of video, then to us, it really is, you know, takes precedence to do what you guys want to see. Gonna try and give them the people inside a little bit of time to take off their seatbelts. They usually get mad if you don't let them take off their seatbelts at all. So actually, we'll tell them to put their seatbelts now. Then we've got some turbulence. Turn back on. So they might really not be able to take them off this entire throughout this entire flight, which is unfortunate. But hey, what are you gonna do? Sometimes it happens that way. 22 miles out now. Burj Khalifa just popped up, which is the tallest building in the world. Currently located in Dubai. It stands, I think, about a mile high, a mile tall. Something like 5,000 something feet, which is just ridiculous. It's a huge building. It's absolutely incredible. Another altitude alert. 1,000 feet to go to our selected altitude. We're going to be going actually lower than that now. Going to be shooting for 4,000 feet, and we'll choose that as a TPA. Jets normally, if you're at an airport, you'll see 2 TPAs normally if there's jets flying in that airport. There will be a jet TPA, and there will be a general aviation aircraft TPA. Usually the jets are much higher, maybe by even, depending on the aircraft, the airport influences. Stuff like mountains and hills can influence how high and different TPAs can be. Normally they're 1,000 feet. Sometimes jets might have to fly at 2,000 feet, stuff like that. My airport is normally 1,700 feet for TPA, but jets is actually somewhere between 2,000 and 2,700 feet because there's significant terrain in my area, which causes a necessary increase in the TPA. So coming at about 17 miles to go. Gonna bring up the throttle here in a second and turn down the seatbelt sign again. Just gonna try and ease off our descent here and get a little bit of that speed coming again, because we're still 16 miles away. We're not close enough where we can start adding flaps. So we're just gonna try and get ourselves to the point where we can start doing stuff. This is probably gonna be an unedited video. I want to kind of show the entire process. Because this is how the flights usually go. They usually, they feel a little bit more real because you have real people that react to what you're doing. If I, for example, if I put this in a nosedive right now, you'd hear people start throwing up and they'd get very angry, and passenger satisfaction would go plummet to 0. Basically, it's a really fun way to have an interactive everything. If you don't really like flying, by yourself and want to keep it interesting, I really recommend it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to watch people play it, as demonstrated by us, just watching it and seeing progression of J&M Charters as a company. It's kind of cool. Not only, obviously not real, it's not real, but it's cool just to see how, this is really how companies actually grow. Starting, their opening day with, the Cessna 172 and end up becoming a huge, world-renowned 5-star airline that's flying 380s all around the world. Or you can even go like a pilot like that. So basically, we're doing a pilot progression, and there's the same thing you can do with pilots. Pilots start out flying Cessna 172. Every single pilot starts with a single-engine propeller aircraft, and they graduate their way up into the largest aircraft in the world. So it's really cool to showcase that. As you can see, the Burj Khalifa is popping out there. Ridiculous height on that thing. But we just want to show the progression of the people and pilots in real life, and how this is really, how you're gonna go from flying these little things to flying your first jet, and you won't be flying your first jet anymore. You'll be flying your first multi-engine jet, and so on and so forth. You guys get the drill. Now that we're coming into lower altitudes, the air is getting denser, and it's getting harder for us to get the same amount of speed through. So we're going to need a little bit more throttle to maintain those speeds. And we're coming about 8 miles now, so we're going to start our descent, our final descent to our TPA, and we'll tell them to get their seatbelts on. We'll choose 2,000 for a TPA. If that's too low, if we can't see the ground, we'll make adjustments accordingly. If we're too high, we'll descend to get to the ground, not to get to the ground, but to be able to see the ground. If we are too low, then we'll make adjustments in the other direction, shall I say. Should be busting through the clouds quite soon here, as you can see. The Burj Khalifa, it's just about about 2/3 of the way up it, about 3,000 feet. So we should be busting through these clouds quite soon. As you can see, 1,000 feet to go to the cruising altitude that I selected. Not cruising, sorry. The altitude in which I selected. Still about 5 miles to go to the airport. We will start our turn to the left soon. We'll make about a 5 to 2 mile downwind, just to give ourselves sufficient spacing between us and the airport. So we should be busting through these clouds very, very shortly. As you can see, we're really getting up to this line where we're quite close. And we really want to be able to see, since we're going to be doing VFR traffic pattern. We really want to be below this, obviously keeping in, that I see it, that tower there. But since we're doing VFR pattern work, we really want to keep our eyes on the ground, being able to see. There we go, just busted through the layers, a little bit hazy, but still enough visibility to do a visual approach. Obviously, we're keeping in mind that we have obstacles all around, and we're adjusting accordingly. There's nothing dangerous about this. Obviously, you wouldn't want to be doing this normally or as a normal practice, as it can sometimes be unsafe. But if you know what you're doing and you're not being unsafe about it, and you're taking it very seriously, that there's hazardous things that can be very detrimental to a flight and lives if not taken care of properly, and you are in safe hands. So we got a little bit lower than we want it to be, but really this is where we want to be for the moment. We're not really going to be doing too far of a traffic pattern, considering that we have short approach capabilities, and we really don't want to stay in the air longer than we have to, considering the less than beautiful weather conditions. Gotta turn a little bit more left there to stop a runway incursion.
Don't sink.
But like I said, we're gonna climb a little bit, hopefully to 1,500. If we can still see the ground, we will continue. If not, we might want to switch to an ILS approach. But as the captain, pilot in command, I will make that decision later on in the flight. Another thing I want to bring to the light of to the brains of you guys is that if I'm flying it and I'm flying it wrong, if I'm not doing what you think I should be doing, first of all, if you want to tell me. And if you want to, the thing is that I'm flying as the pilot in command, so things that can, adjust, like that can be, specific to pilots in command. Like I got a comment about lighting the other day. If I find it sufficient lighting, then that's all that should matter. If I can safely operate the aircraft within those parameters, then the aircraft should not be any lighter than I need it. Like I said, here we go, 1,500. We'll stop here. We can see the ground. If I can sufficiently see the cockpit and operate this cockpit in the aircraft in a safe manner, then it shouldn't matter what you think about my lighting. Considering I'm the pilot in command, I make the decision on the aircraft. All decisions are finalized by the pilot in command on every single aircraft. So if I find it sufficient, then it will be sufficient. If I want to fly the aircraft in this manner, I will fly the aircraft in this manner. And it's up to you to tell me if it is not, if it's not correct or not, or such. But if it's stuff like lighting, if it's stuff such as, here's about a 5 mile, so we'll take a 5 mile base, 5 to 6 mile base. But if it's stuff like, putting flaps in at times that you wouldn't, stuff like that, all that's preference. Really, it's not necessary. When you're pilot in command, you can make those decisions for yourself. and you know, when you're not, you know, you can keep them to yourself as well. And I don't mean that to be rude. I'm just saying it as a general rule. Pilots really don't like to be criticized on their flying skills, especially if they are the pilot in command. It's just really not. It's not really extremely courteous to do such a thing. We're going to increase the bank angle here, just so we can, you know, we gave ourselves not too much room to take this turn here. So increase the bank angle, increase the back pressure to try and get this turn coming, and still maintain this altitude. Busting back through the clouds now. We still have about an 8-mile approach, so it's not really going to be too hard to keep that runway alignment throughout this approach. As we're coming here and we're see, here's turbulence, here's some rocking of the controls, stuff that happens throughout these flights many times, and people are getting nice and scared there in the back. This actually is a good thing. Getting turbulence in this game is in this add-on is a really good thing, because it actually, when the game and the passengers see that you handle these weather situations really well, they are more likely to come back, and they give you extra points for that. So if you land a plane in, you know, really harsh weather, such as raining, if you take off in nice weather, they won't penalize you. If it's obviously pouring and you take off and then you land and it's bad weather conditions, they'll say you shouldn't have taken off anyway, and you'll get penalized for that. But other than that, if there's turbulence, you know, they'll reward you for handling the aircraft well during that bad weather situation. So that's pretty cool. If you ask me, it's pretty cool. Like that about this. So now we can see the runway, the airport. Rather, it's just off in that direction. We'll come here and decrease the range on our display, just to get a nicer picture of everything. But there you can see the we'll keep coming up to it closer. The runway, the airport is just in that direction, and we're going to just because we were going a little bit faster on approach, we actually had to oops, my gear was already down, have to come back in a little bit just to recapture that proper runway alignment. So we're just gonna do a quick run through of the landing checklist. Flaps are down, not set to our final landing flap setting. They will be shortly, and our gear is locked in place. We have 3 greens. I would say right now we should probably be on an ILS, but considering I have the runway in sight, that won't be necessary for this flight. Like I said, normally right now I'd be flying the ILS, but considering I'm not prepared for it, which I should have been, it is my fault. I'm not going to go through all that to get the ILS set up when we don't necessarily need to. I have the runway in sight, so I'm going to go full flaps on this. Like I said, as a PIC, it's my fault. If something bad happens, it is my fault. If something, if it's fine, it is also my fault. So I would like to keep the comments to a minimum about my piloting decisions. Like I said, if I want to make the decision, then it's my fault. Either way, if you think it's stupid, then please keep that to yourself, because obviously it was a stupid decision not to be prepared. But overall, we will end the flight safely because we have the airport in sight, and we had the option to either do a visual or ILS approach. I'm getting annoying warnings here by the aircraft. So really, pretty much a really short approach. Just really nice scenery, by the way. FlyTampa always has the best scenery. As we start to intercept the glide slope, I'm going to start increasing power slowly. Really, I use my visual senses to base my. I usually don't use the PAPI lights. I will 9 times out of 10 use my eyes to gauge my sync rates and stuff like that. If I find it, that usually the PAPI lights kind of just annoy me. If I think I'm a little bit too high, I tell by looking at my visual references that I've been developing over the past few years of flying, and I always find that to work better than the PAPI lights, just because I've been using them a lot longer. Just some, just warnings coming off to make sure that we know we're paying attention to what's going on. We're on 13 left, which is the runway that we've been planning to land on, because we have about pretty much a head-on crosswind. It's actually 1-2 left. Sorry, I think I might have said 3 something before. But I knew it was 1-2 actually. Might have just said it wasn't. So here we go. We have touchdown. We have a really long runway, so we are gonna just use the thrust reversers. We're not going to use any brakes of any kind. I don't actually. Maybe there's not a thrust reversers on this aircraft. Thought there was. But we're not gonna, use any braking of any kind. There's no reason to damage the brakes, or not damage the brakes, but put wear on the brakes when we have completely enough room to continue our roll and just stop by ourselves. As you can see there, we're about 28 knots, and really not even halfway down the entire runway. Just to give you an outside view of the aircraft, really nice modeling here. There's actually one of these. There's a few of these planes at my airport that I fly out of. They really closely modeled. I've actually been inside one of them. Really nicely modeled, really closely modeled to the actual aircraft. Extreme detail. Like I said, I will be doing a review on it probably within the next week or so. Expect to see that up. Like I said, videos have been coming out rather slowly lately, just due to the fact that actually we're gonna be parking over here. I don't know where I'm going. Just because I've been, we've got school kicking back up after a week break that we had in December. Just a lot going on, so I'm not really doing as well as I wanted to be doing as far as video production. But I've got a lot of content that's just not been uploaded and not been edited and such. Editing sometimes takes a while. I like doing these style videos a lot more, because if I have 30 minutes, I can record for 30 minutes, don't have to edit at all, where sometimes I have to edit for something like an hour and a half, like the video that I spent that I did on the PMDG and the Captain Sim. That was a lot of editing. It took about an hour of editing just to get all those clips, because you have to understand, each of those ones. So I did the PMDG in one take and then the CS in one take. So I didn't keep loading on and doing different parts of it. If you want to see that video, you could click on the top right annotation, by the way. I would do it in one whole thing, where I would go through every single part, which was FMC, cockpit. I would go through all that in one take, and then I would have to cut those parts. I would have to cut those so that they would go right after each other, where so like the PMDG would come right after the Captain Sim or whatever, because they weren't filmed. I didn't film the Captain Sim, then go back off and film the PMDG. I actually filmed, like I said, all in one take. So I had to cut those at the right parts that I wanted to cut them at, and get them all aligned, get the audio in there, because I use Audacity to record my audio, because the fraps, when you record with fraps, your audio with fraps, it limits your ability to adjust individual volumes, such as, because it mixes it all into one form of audio, the audio from the microphone and FSX. So if I have really loud FSX and I want to really turn up my voice or turn down FSX, I have to turn down the whole thing, which is unfortunate, but this is how I had to fix that problem. It's pretty much just taxiing in now. Everything is set up to go. We're taxiing a little bit faster because I just don't want to minimize the time you guys have to sit here and watch me do nothing. So pretty much the aircraft is pretty much ready to be turned off. Obviously we're not turning off any lights yet, because we're trying to get in. It's a little bit hazy, so we don't really want people to see us and not see us. Didn't make any sense. I meant to say not see us. Dubai is very wealthy. There's a lot of people with private jets, so there's a lot of private parking around here. It's really cool, nicely modeled. Obviously, it's modeled exactly like the one in real life. So it's really cool to come in here and be able to say, okay, our parking's right over here. It's like normal in the in actual Dubai. Considering there is, like I said, so many rich people that they just are able to purchase very large jets. And there are many rich native people of Dubai and the United Arab Emirates, and then there's also people who move there who are very wealthy because there's actually no taxes there. It's a fun fact. There's no taxes in Dubai because the government is so wealthy by themselves. They're all really wealthy princes, and the sheikh, they call them, which is the ruler of the government. They have a lot of money due to oil wealth in the family, and just overall wealth in general, just through the many years that the families have been ruling. So that's just some fun facts about Dubai. There's a lot of people who just move there for the no taxes and such, and then there's the people who just live there who are all very wealthy, like the princes and such. So now we're just coming up to our parking here at Executive Flight Services in Dubai Center, rather. Sorry, I'm just going up. We're gonna keep going until we get a message to stop. Getting close, getting close, getting close, getting close. Get a little bit more power. Oh, almost there. Stop. Okay, now we're going to power down the aircraft. That is not what I meant to do. I don't know why I keep doing that. If I'm not mistaken. Hold on, turn off those engines. So as our engines start to come down, we're going to open the door, let our people come out, go inside the cockpit, talk about the flight, and listen as the people walk out. About 27 seconds till they all leave. So we can really get some quick, nice things about this aircraft. This aircraft's fantastic. I recommend to buy it 100%. If you're in the market for a really nice business jet, this is the best business jet out there. There's not that many out there. There is actually one coming by Carenado I was very excited for. But really, this is really the best. I did make some mistakes there, so I'm not perfect. I do make mistakes sometimes, and I recognize those mistakes, such as making the decision to not do an ILS when I definitely should have done an ILS. Makes mistakes. I can't go back, and I acknowledge that mistake, and we can move on from there. And next time, I will actually do an ILS in that situation. As you can see, there's many features inside the cockpit as well as outside of the cockpit, as you can see as I'm demonstrating here. Many things you can do inside the virtual cabin of this aircraft. Is that a toilet? I don't know. I didn't know there was a toilet. Let me see. Back in here. I would doubt that would be a toilet, but it looks like one. I can't actually get an angle on it to see. Let's actually try going outside, opening the door, and zooming in nice and close. See if it's a toilet. You can't see. Whatever. Anyway, that's pretty much all we have for today. Very nice aircraft. See really nice detail. There's two pilots, nice and cozy in that tight cockpit. Really nice aircraft. Very high quality. Nice aircraft anyway by Cessna. And now we're just going to come up here, end the flight, and give you just pretty much a overall view of the flight. Here we go. As all of our data, I will take a picture of this and show you right now. As you can see, the top half is just telling us pilot was Matt. It was J&M Charter Services. It's F1 Mustang. It was about a 40-minute flight from Abu Dhabi to Dubai. 63 miles approximately. Landing speed was 74 knots. As you can see, all this stuff is just displayed here on the screen. Flight times 27 minutes. It was a KISS landing. Nice job. Average cruise speed 217. Burned nice amount of fuel. Yeah, pretty much just there's not much going on. We made about $48,000 from this, as you can see, from the second half. So that is pretty much what we're going to be using. So I Hope you guys enjoyed. We're going to record that flight and put it in our logbooks, and next time we'll be doing the next flight, probably with a Majestic Dash 8 or something of a similar size roller comparison. But anyway, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of this playlist, just let us know in the comments. If you want to see a specific aircraft next in a similar size, weight, category to the Dash 8, please let me know. And see you next time. Thanks for watching.